I cannot claim credit that because of me, a lot of good leaders pull in UHY. As a leader, you no need to do more by yourself. Instead, you must unlock the potential in the people you lead.
The main role is not only to hiring the good one, but also to retain a better one. So we focus a lot in building a strong pipeline for future leaders.
A firm is only successful when it can grow beyond its founder. So that is a time I observe how my partners or my future senior partners, how they cope with the work pressure, how they find solution.
That's a misunderstanding for all the young professionals that networking is transactional and they expect instant result.
There must be something to delete to remember you. Okay? That is very basic networking skill you can build.
Right, good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our very first episode of Leadership Table by UHY. My name is Ho Yi Hui. I'm your moderator for today's session. And together with me is our group managing partner, Dr. Alvin T.
Hello.
And also we have our audit partner and deputy the CEO, Jack.
Hello.
Alright. Leadership Table is our firm initiative that brings leaders together to share their thought, their experience, and their perspective from various industry viewpoints on how they lead, on how they think and navigate change in today's evolving business landscape. Actually, we can talk a lot of things about leadership, but rather today, we are going to focus on people and relationship. This is how it come about our theme for today, building leaders, building networks. In professional firm like us as a service provider, we need people and we need many leaders in different area, handling different role and responsibility. We can have different style of leader. Some could be a bit rigid, a bit straight, and some can be friendly. So I would say that leaders are not homogeneous. They are unique. They have their own way on doing things. So with that, I would like to start with Dato' unique experience in leadership.
Me. Okay.
Okay, Dato' ready?
Yes.
So Dato', over the years, you have built so many leaders across the function for the firm. Looking back, can you share with us what had happened and what are those incidents that significantly impact you and have helped you to mold your approach in leadership? Over to you, Dato'.
Thank you, Miss Ho, but I like to call her Yi Hui, it's more personal. Okay, before I go into that, how I become a leader, my leadership journey, I want to say that there's one question. A lot of friends, a lot of clients will ask me, how can you afford to go overseas to have meeting so many days away? And how can you handle so many clients? We got close to 70 PLC clients and many other jobs. The answer is simple. In UHY, we have strong pool of dealers. We have good leaders in the firm. Why? I cannot claim credit that because of me, a lot of good leaders pull in UHY. The answer I want to say is, in UHY, we create a good environment for leadership development. And we invested significantly. Even sent our junior partner and partner all the way to Spain, to Europe for international leadership training. That's explain why UHY have a good leadership pool. But today, I still want to share with the younger auditors, the young professional who are following today, what value guide the way I lead people and build teams. Okay, for me, very simple. My leadership journey come in 3 stages. Stage number 1, I want to relate back to when I'm a young accounting graduate from University of Malaya. Okay, I decided that that time, just country just fresh from the recession, I think I want to do MICPA. I want to have one additional qualification behind my accounting degree. Hey, that decision itself turned out to be a good decision. Then I get more recognition from my superior, from my colleague. That itself build more trust, more confidence in me as a leader. That is the beginning of my leadership journey. With extra effort, extra qualification. Then stage two, we talk about the empowerment. Okay, that's where when I'm in my mid-40s, I set up UHY. I got more resources, I'm more experience. I start to believe that as a leader, you no need to do more by yourself. Instead, you must unlock the potential in the people you lead. You must enable them to do better. Okay, that is my stage two. I do have some difficult moments, but which I will share in the later. Okay, then I move on to the current stage of in UHY. What I'm doing is talk about the legacy building. Today, leadership is not about building more, but it's about continuity. A firm is only successful when it can grow beyond its founder. In UHY, unfortunately, it's me. Okay, so that's why I focus on succession planning, leadership transition, allowing next gen to take over. Okay, leadership is temporary, but what you build through people can last beyond you. So for me, I start with building credibility. I invest in people, give them empowerment. Now, I want to build a legacy and plan forward. I think that is my leadership journey, so.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what I can see is you are not only just leading by example, but you keep on going, duplicating more leaders to come. So, and I also can see that your leadership approach evolve over the stages and it is not fixed and apply forever, right? But nevertheless, when we talk from the firm perspective, certain young professionals, they still need to be supported in a more structured way, right? So Jack, now I want to listen from you. I know that you're very involved in the talent management. So from the firm perspective, what have been in place and what role does talent management play in developing future leaders? Over to you, Jack.
All right, thank you, Yi-Hui. So in talent management, I think the main role is not only to hiring the good one, but also to retain a better one. So we focus a lot in building a strong pipeline for future leaders. So what initiative we take is we identify the good one so the firm can invest the right person. So secondly, we will provide continuous support to the team members, to the future leaders, and provide them and develop a structured learning program for them. For example, like professional ethics, professional grooming, and audit technical knowledge updates. So I think there are two common mistakes for most of the organization. I think the first one is they only develop leaders when they need one, but by then it will be too late. And the second common mistake is that they focus too much on the top management instead of the all levels. So because of all this, so recently we have launched one program called Manager Pipeline Program, which mainly focus on the senior level and also the assistant manager level, so to mold them into the future leaders. So this MPP program will help UHY to systematically to prepare our next generation leaders.
That is very meaningful program, Jack. Well done. That I see you are not only helping the young professional to score in their report card, but along the way you provide guidance to help them, to assist them to advance themselves. Right. So moving forward, what kind of quality that you will be emphasized a lot for the next generation of leaders?
So I think first thing first, we'll look into the performance of the individuals and their audit technical knowledge. So, but then other than that, we also focusing in the problem solving skill. So always come with solution instead of only the question itself. because right now we are in the modern audit era, so a lot of data required, a lot of data involved. So another qualities we are looking into is the digital and data literacy. And because leadership skill is more, at the end, it still goes back to how you manage people, the team management. So one thing, I think that's one fun fact is that the best leadership training program is always the leaders start to train their team members.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Besides technically a person who in a professional firm, they also need to be equipped by soft skills. Okay, so I'll back to you, Dato. So Dato, today we have many partners in the firm, and some of the partners actually are being trained by Dato personally. So how could Dato did it? How do you actually identify the right people, groom them, and to take care of the firm, Dato?
Yeah, Yue, I think that is a very important topic today. That determine the survival of the firm like UHY, because you must identify the right people. I'm at the stage of legacy building, so we need to identify the right people to shoulder responsibility. Okay, but along the way, in the past, we make mistake. We focus too much on the looking at their performance and capability. We forget to understand or to monitor the commitment and integrity of these people, whether they have the mindset to go with the firm or not. I think that is very critical because I learned from mistake now. I believe the current batch of partner all have very good commitment. They pass a lot of the tests put forward by me. I tell Jack talk about problem solving. I always like to throw them a very serious situation for them, see how they respond. Not to say crisis management, but at least managing difficult situation with the client, with the authority. A firm like us, we are a major firm of Audit Oversight Board. The authority will come and review our file every year. So that is a time I observe how my partners or my future senior partners, how they cope with the work pressure, how they find solution. The other thing is I also groom them by spending a lot of time traveling together. Along the journey, we will brainstorm new idea. The firm like UHY, we have limited resources. We need to channel resources to something with high impact. That is a time we have a lighter moment, traveling time, or even we have, I call it team building time. We'll come up with an idea. So over the years, this approach have allowed me or allowed UHY to build a strong pool of partners who can support each other and move the firm forward together. That's what I try to stress here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dato. So after listening to two gentlemen, you can see that your journey of leadership with UHY, you are not alone. We have experienced leader willing to guide you. And also we have dedicated program to assist you further. So with that, we shall close the chapter 1 on people. Okay, so please take your drink, gentlemen, before we proceed to the chapter 2 on relationship. Nice, Dato. Good tea. Alright, so can we move on to chapter 2 on relationship? Are you ready, gentlemen?
We are ready to take more challenging questions from you.
Wow, that's good. Okay. That's good. So let's do the chapter 2 on relationship. Relationship is very important. It's playing a very crucial role in leadership. Why I say that? Because good and meaningful relationship will bring good leaders together to share ideas, to share experience, and collectively we achieve some objectives together, right? And it's also create opportunity and partnership. So now, let's see how we can leverage the power of networking in building leaders. Okay, so as usual, I will start with Dato. Dato, since day one I know Dato, I was so impressed of Dato networking, right? I see
Really?
Dato, I see Dato how you manage the relationship with your client, with your subordinate, as well as with your business partner and associate. Okay, so this is something that I need to learn from you. And also, I remember that our managing partner from Spain, Mr. Bernard, has once described you as the rainmaker of UHY. So, Dato, can you share with us your journey of networking and please give us some advice on how to handle relationship? Dato, over to you.
Wow, this is something I can talk very long, but I think they're going to monitor my time, okay? So, networking, like what Miss Ho say, you will say, is very natural in me. So, I want to relate my story back to my school days, my secondary school days, okay? Some of you know that I have a very capable and very famous teacher who subsequently became Minister of Malaysia. This teacher always like to pass a remark on me as a student. So why is Alvin D always smile in the class? Why he smile non-stop? Maybe that is the beginning of my optimistic character building. I'm a very optimistic person. I can take difficult situation and still smile. And that is important for networking. When you throw a smile, when you acknowledge your colleague in a lift or corridor, call their name, that is the basic of the networking skill. If you don't even have eye contact with your colleague in the office or when you are in the event, then is something you got to improve. You got to improve. Eye contact is very important. You look at people, call their name. You can call me Alvin in the lift, or you call me Dato also, I accept lah. So please remember if for our colleague to recognize each other. Okay. So that is the first step. The first step we do it in our office, in our home. Okay. Then next one, Miss Ho asked me to advise how to have better networking skill. Next point I want to say is you don't need to network with everyone. Okay, you must select. Select who? Select people where there is a mutual value and where you can build something over time with them together. Okay. Select the people you want to network. This can be your partner, can be your superior, can be your client, accountant in the client's place. Invest time, put in effort, try to understand their hobby and break the ice, then build value together. If you are not so optimistic person, you try to make yourself interesting when we talk to people. Okay, so all our auditor, they are all qualified. They are technically really sound. They need to make themselves more interesting so that someone can connect with you beyond work. It can be a simple conversation other than work, whether it's share some business idea, sports, share interests. Because when people talk to you, there must be something to delete to remember you. Okay, that is very basic networking skill you can build. It's all in you. It's whether you want to do it or not. Correct?
Yeah. Thank you, Dato. I love your story on smiling face. Dato, that is already become Dato personal trait. And people perceive Dato is approachable. That's why people can talk to Dato, listen to Dato, and do sharing with Dato. So Dato, please keep it up. Right? So, thank you, Dato. So, Jack, back to you. From your perspective, how do you think young professionals could benefit from networking and help them be prepared as a future leader?
Alright, so I think that's a misunderstanding for all the young professional that networking is transactional and they expect instant result. So in fact, actually networking for young professional is to build visibility. So it's for them to know their managers, all the managers in the firm, know the other partners, and of course need to know Dato. So for other than that, networking will help them to build communication skill and it give them better confidence and comfortable to talk to strangers. So that's why I always encourage my team members to join more events, whether it's internal or external. So for young professional, this is their long-term homework. The byproduct is that they will build their professional reputation and eventually it open more doors to them.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jack. I remember when I was junior at workplace, I always thought, why am I need to participate in the networking event? Why do I need to spend time on that? Because when we were young, we couldn't have really relate the networking to a leadership. So with that, I want to get some tips from Dato', especially for our young professional, on how to build the network and so that they could take it more positively from now onwards. Dato', any advice?
Okay, more advice, more advice, okay?
More
So, but
advice.
before that, let me say this, okay? If you are professional staff, even non-professional staff in UHY, okay, you have a lot of opportunity to improve your networking skill, okay? Before I talk about the event of UHY, the nature of work of auditor, tax agent, even COSAC, you interact with a lot of people. If you all come interact with the audit committee member, board director, and then more importantly, the owner,
Yeah.
who actually have so much story to share. You know? So sometimes be a good listener also is a good networking skill. Because all the entrepreneurs, if they think that you are a good auditor, you are very good in finance, and this person happens to be non-auditor, they look up at you, they want to share their story with you, and then get some tip on the how to improve their finance function. Yeah. So that is why I say mutual value just now. Okay. So back to UHY. We are action packed. We are full with event, full with activities all year long. So this event, don't look at it as activity. Look at it as a platform. Okay. That's the time you interact with your colleague, with your manager, with your partner. Okay. If you join UHY, this is your right to improve your networking, whether you want to move out from your comfort zone or not. That is your choice. Okay. So then like I say don't wait for opportunity. Create the opportunity. Make it intentional. Okay. To improve networking. Networking is important, not just technical knowledge. Network with the authority also important. You know, you must find way. That one is difficult but you got to go through your partner, go through your friend, you know, to do it. You know? So the other thing I want to say is use your superior, your partner, your manager to network with the external network. Okay, you want to know the banker. If you're already associate, it's difficult. But you go through your partner, go through me, go to some of the MD of the firm, go to Ajak. You know, you can get good result. You know? But at the end, I still want to repeat what I say just now. Be an all-rounder. Okay, be an interesting person. Okay, if you don't know how to sing, practice it. I will believe you practice 20 times in front of the mirror in the bathroom, you can improve your singing. Yeah? If you're a good singer, sing often. The first step is always difficult. But if you have the breakthrough, then the rest is quite easy. You know, you can be better than me in networking. Because I also slow down in networking now. I'm very choosy. Okay. But cannot. This whole school me. Cannot be choosy. Must be able to break the ice at the shortest possible time. That is all the senior in UHY trained to do it. Okay. I train them. In short, I cannot give you a formula, but I would say be proactive, be an all-rounder and willing to step forward. Okay? Because networking is not just about who you know, it's about how you show up and the value you bring. I think that sum up my
Sharing
so-called
on
little bit of advice on networking.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dato. So, Dato, shall we go for karaoke later? Can, ah? Okay, we practice
But
today.
you bring your earplug lah, because I'm a singer. No? I shout, you know.
Okay, I couldn't agree more with what Dato has said just now. So what we heard today, leadership is not only just develops individual leader, but also building networking to bring people together. Individually, we may have limitation. That's why we need people around us to support each other. So before we go to the closing, anything that you want to add on, gentlemen?
I think that's all. I think you do a very good sum up. So thank you,
Yeah.
Miss Ho, and thank you all the people who follow us today. This is our first live show. We will do better next time. Okay. I
Yeah.
hope you get some pointer from us. Thank you.
So as closing, I just want to give a very little advice to the young professional. If today after listening to us, you decided your leadership journey, please do not to attach or relying on how to do it. Rather, just do it. Ask your mentor, what should you do and why you should do that. And try to personalize your journey of leadership. I'm here, wish you all the best, and you will make it one day. So thank you for joining us today. We look forward to our upcoming episode of our leadership table. If you like our program, please like and follow us, and you will be getting the notification. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.